The next thing you need to do is incorporate some exercises into your weekly routine that will help your muscles have better tone, which will help you unwind between your visits. The two main areas to focus on, at least for your spinal care at our office, is to stretch out the muscles on the front of your body. This tends to be the pec muscles here. It can even be the biceps, even the front of your arms, the front of the neck, even abdominal muscles. Those muscles tend to get used a lot from being scrunched forward, slumped forward, so we want to get those guys stretched out. The other muscles we want to work on are the muscles on the back side, and these usually are lengthened, they're weak, and they get fatigued feeling because they don't have enough strength in them. So those muscles are usually going to be the traps, which go across your shoulders, your lats, which go under your arms and go from your low back all the way up into your shoulders, your triceps, and even some of the long back muscles. Now keep in mind with these exercises, you don't have to do them with this TheraBand. If you're already going to the gym, feel free to incorporate some of the machines that use these muscles on your own at the gym. This is just a real low-tech way for you to get started doing some kind of exercises at home if you don't already have an exercise routine. You don't have to have equipment to go to the gym, and you don't have to have a membership, okay? So the first set of muscles is called the lat raise. So we're going to be working the latissimus muscle, and you're going to take your TheraBand and hook it under your toe and create a little bit of tension between your hand and your foot, and you're going to raise it out like this. And on the exercise sheets that you got with your startup binder, it will tell you about how many sets to do and how many repetitions for each set. 10 to 15 is pretty good, and 2 to 3 sets. Okay, and then you would switch sides and do the other arm. Now the next one is called the lat raise. So you're going to loop the TheraBand between both of your hands right here, kind of put them in front of you, and then come up like this. So you don't have to do both of these on the same day. It's just an alternate way to work these muscles. This way you're going to work both sides at once, whereas the first way I showed you might be an easier way to get started doing one side at a time. Okay. Now the next exercise that I really like for the lats are the pull downs. So I'm going to grab my chair. Okay. And it's the opposite way. You're going to sit down, wrap the TheraBand around your fingers, and then pull down. And if you've never done back exercises before, you're going to probably be feeling it the first few times you do it. Okay, so there's the pull downs. Now the next one is called shoulder shrugs. And this time you're going to take the TheraBand and loop it under both of your feet. And you're going to hold it in your hands, and all you're going to do, it'll be kind of tight. You're going to bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Now holding the TheraBand is just going to give you a little bit of resistance towards doing that. I'm not a huge fan of doing exercises for the trap muscles because most people are so sore anyway, but believe it or not, those muscles usually are pretty weak, so they do need to have some muscle tone. So this is a pretty easy entry-level exercise to add. Okay. Now the next group of muscles you must add into your exercise routine are the rowing action. You can accomplish this with the TheraBand by looping this behind your feet. Okay, you're going to just pull in so you have some slack till it's kind of pulled snug, and then you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together. So you're kind of trying to keep your elbows towards your side and pulling the shoulder blades together at your back. Now this exercise works the rhomboid muscle. It's a real tiny muscle that connects your shoulder blade to your spine. And it's one of the only muscles, it's actually the only muscle to pull the shoulder backwards. There's no natural movement you do during most days for the typical person that will work this muscle. So if you had to pick one exercise to add to your routine, you only had time to do one, seated rows is my highest recommendation. If you go to the gym, that's going to be the rowing machine. It looks similar. You're probably going to be pulling the bar towards you with your chest against one of the pads. Now, for stretching, the exercise ball is a great invention. This stretch I love because it's going to get all of these things through here. The pec muscles that are usually tight, the front of the neck, the front of your arms. So it's pretty easy. You're just going to lay backwards over the ball, bring your hands behind you, and just let it all stretch out. This one's great. Okay, now if you don't have an exercise ball, you can get one of these. Most any place that sells sporting goods like Guard or Target, any place like that is probably going to have them. You need to look and make sure you buy the right size ball for your height. It will give you a recommendation for which size ball. This one is probably the next size too tall for me, but I like it better than the one that fits me. So if you're in the office sometime, you can test out the different ones before you buy one and see which size will work good for you. And the other one that I'm going to recommend you do is called the shoulder hyperflexion. That's what it's called on your exercise sheet. So what you're going to do is grab onto the ball and let your head, you're going to let your head hang down and let it pull through here. Oh, and that's real good for people that do a lot of chronic sitting. Okay, and my last favorite stretch is called the wall pec stretch. You're just going to go over to the edge of a wall, and you can do this anywhere. So no excuses not to do this at least once a week. Okay, with this one, you're just going to put your arm at these two 90-degree angles, okay? You're going to hook it onto the wall and lean into it. And you should feel it stretching through the pec muscles right here. A lot of people have these knots and sore trigger points if you were to go poking around in there. On your exam, I probably found some on you. Okay, so you just hold that and then switch sides and do the other side. Okay, this concludes the demonstration. Like I said, you can find a way to incorporate these with hand weights or dumbbells or the pulley machines at your gym.